Hello and welcome back, or welcome to the channel. I'm Loudguns, and in today's episode we're going to be taking a look at what new ships have entered the verse through the in-game shops in 3.17. The idea here is to help keep my Ships of Star Citizens series up to date without having to cover hundreds of ships off every patch. If there are significant material changes, I'll redo the whole thing, but when it's just a few additions like this, I'll do an update. Before we get going, a quick note to say that if you're looking to get into SC, be sure to use someone's referral code, as it'll get you some extra starter cash. Mine's up on screen, but it doesn't have to be mine at all. Also, if you're looking to meet some folks to talk SC and play with, feel free to hop on over to the Frontier community on Discord. Links in the video description down below. Just to be clear, we're talking about the ships that you can buy for Alpha UEC in-game, not whatever's coming into the game from the cash shop. So the Hull A behind me here could be considered mis-selling, but this is just here for our April giveaway. If you stick around to the end of the vid for details on how to enter. Or skip there now, but then you'll miss the sexy ships. Okay, you like sexy ships, let's go. One of the great things about the Alpha is that we can buy loads of ships in game by making the Alpha currency aUEC, and taking it to one of the 3 ship shops across Stanton. You won't get to keep these forever like you do with ships that you pledge for, and they will get wiped periodically, but it provides a great opportunity to try things out and find what you like. Just a quick disclaimer that we've got a few ships in from Crusader Industries that, according to the game data, will eventually be placed at Crusader, sort of in the Crusader Industries showroom. Due to some current bugs in the PTU, those are currently at Astra Armada, but I've marked them as CIS for Crusader Industries because I don't dearly like these videos to stand the test of time. So a quick rundown of the shops. You'll find Astra Armada at Area 18 on ArtCorp, loads of alliteration there. On the title cards that go along with the ships, this one will be marked as AA. On Hurston, New Deal is at Lorville, right at the Tisa spaceport where you land and take off. That'll be marked as ND on the title cards. And finally we have the Crusader Industries showroom, which will be marked CIS. And that's at the Cloudview Center, Horizon, which is on the planet Crusader. So first up we have the Cyclone MT, which like all Cyclones will cost you 28,086 credits from the New Deal. This variant's a combat version on steroids with a size 1 gunner position and a brace of AA missile launchers. Sticking on the ground we have the latest hoverbike, the Hoverquad from Consolidated Outland for 88k. This is really just a little runabout with no weapons and a lower top speed than the more expensive Dragonfly and Nox variants. Still, Hoverquad derby races are extremely fun, you just have to keep in mind that they take less damage than a Premier League footballer before falling down. Speaking of steroids, we have the Kruger P72 Archimedes for 150k from Astra Armada. The big brother of the P52 Merlin is faster, more responsive and packs 4 size 1 weapon hardpoints versus the Merlin's 2. Definitely not to be underestimated in a fight. Keep in mind that this snub doesn't have its own quantum drive though, so you'll need to hitch a ride, but thankfully that's what Connies are for. Building on the Atlas chassis that also gave us the Anvil Ballista, the Anvil Spartan is an armoured personnel carrier designed for taking a squad of Marines to the front line. It will set you back 255k. This thing is seriously fast and has seating in the rear for 8 soldiers. I'm really hoping that at some point we get some more challenging versions of bunker missions that will justify bringing that many troops to the fight. The more serious ships for 3.17 start with the utterly ridiculous. The Cutlass Steel is a dropship that only Drake could make. You take a standard cutty black hole, you fill it with seats and you strap it with guns, guns and more guns. Personally I feel that if you painted it orange, the ship would be reminiscent of an EasyJet plane. Think Delta Airlines if you're one of my American viewers. Because you can fit 18 passengers, and if you count the crew seats, a total of 21 people can fit aboard. Why you would stick nearly half a server in a ship with a single size 2 shield, I don't know, but you do you. One of my favourite new ships, the Argo RAFT, is available for just over 1.85 million. This is a cool 2-person cargo hauler with a 96 SCU of cargo in its external pods. I think some of these ships with external capacity are waiting to come into their own with the cargo refactor, where loading times could start to really matter. The RAFT easily has one of my favourite, best designed interiors, not because it's flashy or shiny, but because it's just so well laid out. The only thing I dislike about the Raft is that it's made me question whether my beloved mole needs a rework. So we're now into a trio of Crusader ships, which again, they're currently marked here as down at the Crusader Industry showroom, because that's what the game data says and what CIG are intending. But right this second you'll find them to buy at Astra Armada. We start with the Ares Starfighters, both priced at 2,859,000 credits. First up, due to alphabetical order, is the Inferno. The Ares are both effectively a bespoke size 7 gun with a ship built around it. In the case of the Inferno, we have a ballistic Gatling, great for if you like things that go BERT. But if you prefer your pew pew, then take a look at the Crusader Ares Ion with its size 7 laser cannon. This ship has been the source of some classic SC drama, coming in extremely OP, then just getting nerfed into the dust. Recent changes seem to land it more in the middle. But I guess this is just something to be aware of. As we bring more ships into the game, balance changes are just a fact of life that we'll all have to get used to. The final ship for now in the Hercules series is the A2 heavy bomber, capable of laying waste to ground targets. It comes packing 4 mother-of-all bombs, which can do some pretty serious damage and makes for some really pretty explosions. This one's really surprised me in terms of in-game price, only costing just over 5.5 million credits. Considering the ship has a real-world price tag of $750, this is incredibly cheap to buy in-game. So we did have a bit of a discussion amongst our community, and we came to the conclusion that we don't currently have reputation as a factor. Ships are only currently locked behind a paywall, earn enough credits and you can walk into a showroom and buy anything. Now in the real world, if I was a billionaire, I like to dream. Nobody would be stopping me from placing a huge order for industrial machinery with a company like JCB or Caterpillar. But try as I might, nobody's going to let me buy a nuke. So potentially the price of an A2 with its mother-of-all bombs loadout won't be too prohibitive, but I would have to build up the rep with the right people in game to be permitted to buy one. Coming in at 6.35 million credits is the Origin 400i. As with all things Origin, I'm not sure what the practical purpose of this ship is, but I'm sure it's pretty. Billed as a luxury exploration craft, it's another example of really well thought out recent design, with a comfortable living space for the 3 crew that blends luxury and exploration very well in my opinion. I recently took my wife, Mrs. Guns, on a tour of Stanton in our 600i, but I think we're probably going to look at buying ourselves a 400i, something just a bit more manageable and sleek. The ship does have a garage. It's designed really for the Origin X1 bikes, which haven't been released yet, but the fact that it can't really take a lot of other vehicles, particularly like the Rock, really does limit the practical applications of this ship for the time being. And finally, for the additions for 317 is the Aegis Redeemer for 8,675,000 aUEC. This gunship dropship hybrid packs a ton of firepower into a small neat package. The pilot has 2 size 4s under direct control and can also slave 1 remote turret with 2 size 3s. There's another rear-facing dual size 3 turret that can be controlled from one of the bridge seats, and the heaviest firepower comes from a pair of turrets, sporting dual bespoke size 5 Gatlings. These can be changed out for laser weapons to remove the ammunition issue. Inside you've got 4 drop seats and a tidy little kitchen area along with bunks for the 4 crew. So there we have it, all up to date with the new ships coming for 317. I've always been a big believer that all you need to play the game is a $45 game package, and therefore it's great to see CIG continue to bring ships in to buy for aUEC fairly quickly after they were made available to people who pledged for them with hard currency. I know that it's easy when you start playing to quickly develop a ship buying habit. That next upgrade can turn from a want to a need overnight, and before you know it there's a hole in your bank account. I don't want to discourage anyone from pledging for ships, it's your money, you earned it, so I'm not going to tell you how to spend it. But what I would say is that if you're patient and take the time to understand the CCU game, exactly what ships you really want, you can get much better deals. The Ares scandal, I'm going to call it, highlights another really important point. Ship statistics can and will change, so please don't go buying a ship because, quote unquote, it's really strong. I feel that buying ships in-game and experimenting with them before you part with cash is a really cool part of that. So if you found the video useful, consider dropping a like, and if you think I've earned it by now, then maybe consider hitting subscribe to the channel. Sharing it with your org mates would also be awesome, as that's one of the best things for growing. Right, you've been very good at watching to this far, or you've been scrubbing through the timeline to find the right point, so it's time for a giveaway. So I started this channel just over a year ago as a way to learn to video edit and get myself through lockdown. But it's given me back so much more than I could have imagined. I've had some fantastic moments in game and met a lot of truly great people. And with that in mind, I want to start giving back to the community. So as long as I've got a chunk of change coming in from YouTube ads, I'll be doing a monthly ship giveaway on the channel. For this month, which is April 2022, I'm giving away a Miss Calais, allowing the lucky winner to get their hands on this cool new starter cargo ship in 317. All you have to do to enter is comment on any of my videos from April. Only one entry is going to be counted per video, but don't let that stop us having a good chat. The winner will be announced at the start of May, and then I'll find something else to give away. Plus, until then, I get a cool little ship to truck around in, so it's a win-win. So let me just close by saying thank you very much for watching all the way to the end. I look forward to seeing you next time.